Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. And don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. And don't fence me in.
I'm 86 years old, and I'm proud of that. People have asked me my age, and I come right out with it because I'm proud to be 86. I was born in a racetrack 5 miles from Deer Lodge, and my folks had a ranch, and I rode horseback, and as I grew up, and loved every minute of it. And as I grow older, I don't feel 86. I feel more like 65. Or if my legs would work, why I would feel better. But I do look forward to each day, and I am very proud to be 86. I was born on this ranch at Racetrack, Montana, as I said before. And as I grew up, I worked out in the fields. And when I was 6 years old, I led the dairy course out at the hay field to put the hay in the stack. And so I missed the first day of school when I was supposed to be starting the first grade. But as I grew up, I loved the ranch, and I rode horseback, and I would take the cattle to the field in the morning and get the cattle in the evening. And one time I had the misfortune of running through the brush, and I ran into a bee's nest. Well, I got a few stings, and eventually my mother grabbed me and put mud all over me where I had been stung, and that was one adventure. But I did love the ranch work, and I suppose most people wouldn't know what potato bugs are. But anyway, when I was young, we used to go out to the potato patch and pick the potato bugs off the vines and put them in a bucket. And then when we got a good-sized bucket full, well, I bet then we would go to the house and pour boiling water on the potato bugs. Now my brother Robert is on the ranch, and he is 76 years old and still working, and he loves it there too. And I would say I've had a happy life and a kind of a sad life in a way, but I've never complained, and I never try to look back. And as I was going to get married the first time to a wonderful man named Al Fenger, and I quit my job at the Montana State Prison, and then I thought, well, I'm going to take my mother to Camas Hot Springs because she has arthritis bad, and after I quit my job, I did take my mother to Camas Hot Springs. And while she was there, she became quite sick. So I loaded her up at 5 o'clock in the morning and left Camas Hot Springs, and took her to Dr. Reed in Missoula, and she had a heart attack, coronary thrombosis. And so she was in the hospital for 6 weeks, and I stayed right there. And my fiance at that time, Al Fenger, he came down and he felt so bad, and he said, now Ruth, he says, I suppose you don't want to get married right away because we planned to get married in just a few weeks. In April, that was. And I said, boy, I can't get married now. I have to take care of my mother. And he felt sad. But that's just exactly what I did. And when my mother was dismissed from the hospital, I went out to the ranch, and even they put a bed in the bedroom, and I slept right there. And I took care of my mother until December. And then we were married. But I still stayed at the ranch and took care of my mother until spring, and then we moved into Deer Lodge, Montana. And Alf and I had 3 wonderful children, David Inger, Gary Inger, and Diane Inger. And then as time went on, we had a wonderful life together, and then in 1962 he passed away. And then I was alone for 10 years. I always tried to keep busy and keep my thoughts good, and I had some wonderful friends. And then after 10 years I married Scotty McElman, and now, just recently, he passed away. When my husband Alf passed away in 1962, I had the 3 children, 17, 12, and 7. And as we built the house, as we had the money, we put it into the house. So it took us 3 years to build the house. And then to think that he passed away just a few months after we moved into the beautiful home that he built for us. And then I had to go to work, and 2 weeks later I was at work at the Montana State Prison. And I had gone to business college at Kinman in Spokane, and so I was qualified for the job as an accountant at the Montana State Prison. And I loved my job. I looked forward to every day, and I loved the people I worked with. And I worked there for 19 years. And I look forward to every day. And I never felt, I tried not to feel sad, but I tried to be happy. And even on the weekends, I thought, gee, I wished I was working because, and I had to work. And in those days, the pay was very low, but we did get commissary, and so that helped me to feed my children. I married Scotty McElman, and then we took a trip, and it was 3,000 miles. We loved to travel, and we'd seen my daughter when we left, but we wanted to see her again. So she lived in Kalispell, and so we stayed overnight, and then we were leaving the next morning, and we'd just gone through the lights, and a truck ran into us. The girl came out from the casino, and instead of hitting the girl, who was 16 years old with a borrowed car, they came and hit us head on. And my husband saw the truck coming, so he swerved a little, or the police said that we would have both been killed. But as it happened, my femur in my leg was broken in 2 places. I was knocked out. My head bulged up like a coconut. And after I was in the hospital for a while, they said, you've had more x-rays than anybody. and to think that you're not brain dead. And sometimes I think, oh, maybe I am a little bit big, but then I call that a senior moment. Well, as it turned out, why, I didn't lose my senses, and but I was in the hospital for 2.5 months, and my husband, Malcolm, or I call him Scotty too, he came every day in the morning and stayed until dark, and for the whole 2.5 months. And then I met some wonderful people there as I stayed in Kalispell at the Brendan House. It was, and I never felt sorry for myself, because as I looked around, I saw people that was in worse shape than I was, and I just knew that I was going to be a lot better. But as time went on, I had surgery on two hips done on my right leg, and 2 on the left. But I never, I've had people say to me, I just can't understand how you always have a smile. And I just never felt sorry for myself. I just kept going, and I think I've had a good life. And with my second husband, we traveled a lot. Even when I was with Canes, I remember one time I had 2 canes and we were on a cruise, and I said to my husband, "Oh, I love to dance. I always love to dance." And he said, "Well, you get up and we'll dance." And so I stood up, put my canes down, and he danced around me. And everybody clapped, and we had a good time on that cruise, even though I was on 2 canes. Now that I'm 86, and my husband took sick, and he had leukemia, and I took care of him. I used to try to give him a bath. I wash his back and his arms and legs, and it was very difficult. But I felt happy that I could do this, and I'm still with my cane, but I love taking care of my husband, and I never gave it a thought that he would live such a short life after he got the disease of leukemia. And but I did take care of him, and I love to cook and bake, and one evening about 9 o'clock, I thought, gee, I wonder if he'd like cinnamon rolls. So I decided to make cinnamon rolls. Of course, it was pretty late when I got to bed, but I did make the cinnamon rolls. And my husband was a good cook when he was well, and so then when he took sick, why, I had to do all the cooking, and I enjoyed that, the fact that I could do it. And I kept my house clean. I have a nice big house, and I took care of that. And I do have my license also to drive, but I'm a little nervous about that. But I do drive down for groceries or up to the clinic, and take a short jaunt out to the ranch. But I don't drive too much on the highway, but at 86, I think I'm doing pretty darn good. I have taken up all the rugs, the little rugs. I had a rug by the sink, and a rug on the other side of the kitchen, and a rug in the hallway, and a rug down the hallway. So I took those up, thinking that I don't want to fall, and I didn't want my husband to fall. And so I did that, and taking care of my husband was, I never thought it was difficult, but other people, my children, they thought, oh, you've just got to get more help, more help, more help. And I said, well, I kind of like to do it myself, in which I did. And right until the very last, I was taking care of my husband, and I'm very thankful that I could do this. And I might mention too along the way that I belong to 5 bridge clubs, and I always hated to leave my husband to go play bridge, but he always encouraged me to do that, and so I still play bridge, and I was still able to take care of my husband. It's a little bit difficult to get up, but when I get up, why then I use my cane to be sure that I don't fall and break something else. It's a little difficult to go up steps, but I just go a little slowly, and I never think about my age. I think I'm still about 60 years old. I take these steps one at a time, but I feel safer with the cane. I can walk, pretty good without the cane, but I feel much safer with a cane. And a lot of people resent using a cane, and I feel much more secure when I have the cane. So I would suggest to anybody that had a little problem with their walking, even though they don't feel like they need a cane, they should use a cane, just to help them in case. You might stumble, or if the sidewalk is a little rough, why, you have your cane for protection. And I feel good about carrying my cane. Don't go down with your stockings on and no shoes. This happened to me. I went down, it was the 5 steps, and I had just my nylons on. And I thought that was a little stupid afterwards, but it happened. And I fell down to the landing, and I broke the small bone that connects the lower part of your leg to your knee. And so my daughter came to the rescue and took me to the hospital. Even though I'm 86 years old, and soon be 87, I want to keep moving, and I don't want to give up any of my bridge clubs, and I want to keep active as long as I can, and keep up my house. And I tell my children I love the house, and I have a great view for the mountains. And they said, I think you ought to come and live with us, or maybe go into a retirement home. Well, I don't think about a retirement home at all. I just think about having a good time and enjoying every day. And I tell my children, you only go this way once, and you enjoy every day. And I try to enjoy every day. And I hope that everybody else my age can enjoy their life like I have. And I have a wonderful family, and I told them just recently that if they said, I think, Mom, you should move in with us, or you should do this or that, I said, no way. When I leave this wonderful home that my first husband built, the undertaker will take me. And I'm looking forward to being 102. One thing I do in the evening, before I go to sleep, I think of what I'm going to do the next day. It might be clean the utility room, or do the floor, or make a batch of bread, but I always look forward to every day and think about what I'm going to do And consequently, I might add that I have a lot of friends that come and visit me, and we have tea and cookies, and it's a wonderful life that I've had, even though I've had the accidents and everything. And I have a wonderful family, and I'm so proud of all of them. And I think that everybody should look forward to each day.
Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in.